Yo, ladies and gentlemen, man, what's good? Hey, yo, welcome to the first installment of the Village Sessions. Yo, y'all are here for the foundation. Y'all are here for the beginning, and I appreciate each and every single one of y'all for pulling up, putting in work, bringing stuff, inviting people. Whatever you've done to help push my career forward, I really appreciate that. And like, this is what I feel like it's all about, getting the folk together and just, this is the village. It takes a village at the end of the day to raise a king, to raise a queen, for each and every single one of us to win. And so I just want to help cultivate that. So many people have done so much for me. So I want to bring people together and let's have some fun today. Yeah. So pretty much just to break down how it's going to go, I'm going to play y'all some unreleased music. Some of it is on the plan for us to play. Some of it I'm thinking in my head right now I might just play, So, and a partner right here, that's Khadijah, you know what I'm saying? She high key, like we met like 2 weeks ago and at an Adobe event, and straight up like, she just been like jumping in, very helpful, helping me structure just, stuff on the music side. She has a film background. I'm gonna let her tell y'all about herself. But yeah, go ahead, Khadijah. I ain't gonna belabor that.
My name is Khadijah. So I am a creative entrepreneur. I'm an authentic storyteller. Authentic storytelling is at the heart of what I do. It's what I'm passionate about. I love being able to tell people's stories in a very authentic way. I have a really big news background, and being in news, I didn't really see the proper representation of who we are. So I told myself that I wanted to change that with everything that I do. And so I do pretty much a little bit of everything. My passion, of course, is video and storytelling. But I just love helping creatives think outside of the box. Like, what are you passionate about? What do you want, your life and your legacy to look like? And let's help you get there. So I hope that tonight allows you to think about some things, especially with the songs that we play. And if you guys ever need any help with any projects or creative questions, just hit me up. Nice to meet you.
Five. So, hey, y'all watch Rhythm and Flow, right? All right. So y'all already know how it went down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I ain't even finna talk too much, bro. Let me just play this. We're finna get right into it. Yeah. So hold up. Just be patient with me, y'all. This is an unreleased song.
Period.
It's coming out next Friday. It's called War.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all y'all
That's
got.
all you need to know. We're at war.
Hold on, I might need to mute these mics real quick. I'm gonna do that. There we go.
Fuck losing the battle, I'm going to war. This is my people, I'm opening doors. Been through things they couldn't endure. Trust no man, my faith in the Lord. Niggas ain't standing on shit no more. I've been the ones to the day I was born. Thought I was dead, but I'm immortal. I'm on war with the God. I make an atheist pray for this. I'm seeing through your facade. They might just give me some hate for this, but I follow through with it all. Calamdesa, la turita al harb, alhamdulillah. People at war with themselves, running away from the trauma that they got from their mamas. Tap dance for the white man, they do anything for the commas. This ain't anything in the comments. Your magazine can't trump me, I got a double XL complex. Back to the Ville, niggas still on the same shit. Thinking they keeping it real, cause they ain't changed ever since. My partner still in the field, said he banging that I'm bringing this. That's the shit I don't miss, but I'm with the shit. Try to help them see, they didn't want more. Stay true to who I be, they push me overboard. Don't try to tell me what you ain't done before. See, I prefer peace, but I will go to war. I ain't outside with these niggas, I do not vibe with these niggas. I'd rather walk out and ride with these niggas. Might crash shot and slide on these niggas. Hold up, when up, this ain't you, I'm getting concerned. What have we learned? Fuck all that, the switch intact. They lit that match, now let them all burn. Part of my friendship, sweet and live, fake mon frère. Popping my shit, my say Paris, got hitters out there. Juba City, we the biggest out there. Heard what I told them, I'm at the top of the totem. Niggas think that I owe them, cracked out like Odom. Hop off my scrotum, ho. And I still rap that floater, ass around nigga, they know us. Ride that flow like Noah, walking it bit like soldiers. I'm from the water like Yak, Duval County be exact. Nigga don't ask me no question, you know I'm from, you know where I'm at. I try to help them see, they didn't want more. Stay true to who I be, they push me overboard. Don't try to tell me what you ain't done before. See, I prefer peace, but I will go to war. Type job.
So that was 5, right? So obviously there was a lot to take apart in that song. First is gonna basically be about self-conflict and growth, being at war with yourself. So how do we recognize and conquer our own inner battles?
Hey y'all, hey, I'm Christina. I'm a jack of all trades, and I stay getting paid. Bars.
Period. I know that's right.
Yeah, the conflict within yourself, going to war with yourself. The first thing is being able to like look at yourself in the mirror without judgment.
Yeah.
Like
That's
see
real.
the shadowy parts, see the bright parts, and realize they make you you.
Mm-hmm.
And both parts were the things that got you to this point.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to the war with yourself, is like it's a war when you deny who you are.
Yeah. That's real. That's real.
Cause like I'm gonna let you know, like, you're peace and love, but I also know you got that dog in you.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, like really be able to be honest with yourself and also look at yourself with love, and also the shadowy parts that you think you need to get rid of, honor them and lovingly let them go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's real. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah.
Anybody else got any insight on that?
How y'all doing?
Hey.
Hey, I'm Delaney A. Yancey. Man, Boondog, first of all, prograts, brother.
Okay.
Man.
Let them know.
Prograts, yes.
Let
Yes.
'em know.
And that was cold.
Yeah.
That was dope. And I definitely seen you challenge yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of times, like, as an artist, we gotta keep getting to know ourselves. Because it is with that, and also realizing we also want the audience to know us, but we got to get to know us too.
Yeah.
And so it starts, for me at least, my inner child. You know, we all adults. I think I forgot who said it, but it was like we in our 30s, and we're constantly growing, and it's a battle. It's an uphill battle, but you become more vulnerable and intelligent when you started to realize what you don't want, what you do want, and noticing how resilient you can be. You gotta be graceful with yourself, kind with yourself, and like she said, you got the dog. Definitely, you went through something, brother. I don't know.
For real.
You made it out too. So, but it's necessary. You know what I'm saying? Because some people will push you, or some situations will push you to make you a better man. Like, you know, so that is all growth, and so we seen that, like we hear that. And so that's necessary, and that's why I'm proud of you, brother, because that it showed so much growth. You know what I'm saying? Like you spit that. For real. I'm proud of you, man. Yes.
Like flames.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So you actually said something really interesting to connect to the next question about your inner child and healing your inner child. And I feel like a lot of that can also go into how we feel about generational trauma and unpacking what we have learned systemically as well as just like in our family. So how do you guys feel about generational trauma? And is there anything that you're doing to kind of break that?
Yeah.
I mean, you can jump right in.
I mean, I'm learning that tradition is pure pressure from the past.
That's
so,
good. That's good.
You gotta.
That's good.
Tradition is pure pressure from the past. So, we gotta know when to remove what's not aligned for us. So, because a lot of times we get attached to relatability and tradition and what our parents did and what we grew up doing.
Yeah.
And it's not wrong. We're not doing it for like that bad reasons. It's just we don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know that we don't know.
Right.
And so the more you become more, wise, you start to realize this ain't right. And that's where your discernment got to tap in.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? So you got to know, what's your higher self. You got to, like I was telling my bro here, you either, when you at the point, is this going to help me get to my higher self? No. Yes. Whatever it is, you know.
Yeah.
And so don't tolerate low energy from no one.
Yeah. I love that.
I choose happiness over history.
Okay, I
that's
choose
where I'm at
happiness
with this.
over history. And we were even talking about like self-accountability earlier to your point, and I feel like a lot of times because we get so comfortable in that relatability, because things have kind of become so routine in our family or even outside of our family, just like our relationships and different things that we experience in life, we kind of think that, okay, this is kind of the best that we can get, or like this is, just how it is. And a lot of times that's just not the case. So I appreciate you for sharing that.
No doubt.
Did anybody else have anything to add on the generational trauma? Yeah, y'all look quiet. What's up with that? What's going on with that?
So, one thing that sort of stood out to me the second you asked your question is like, how have I been working to like unpack generational trauma and things? And one of the main pressures that I feel is like being watched.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the time, like, I mean, it comes from the things that our people have been through. Like, we have been watched and we still are watched.
Yeah.
And it like started with like, oh, I'm gonna go on a walk and like just not care if someone's looking at me from my car, because one, they're probably not.
Yeah.
But also like, I'm just gonna allow myself to be free. And we sort of talked a little bit about that before this session started, about allowing yourself the freedom to make mistakes and mess up, and that's not something that our ancestors were really afforded. And so I think really allowing yourself to just like be a person, to be free, even though there's a lot of things that are trying to hold us back, but fighting back against that through joy and through just like dancing like no one's watching, laughing with your friends and things like that. Like that's a really powerful way to fight back and to sort of take control of like your own destiny and the things that you've been through.
Yeah.
That is pretty, it sounds easier to do than it is, but it's something that you can implement every day.
Absolutely. And I feel like joy is such a foreign feeling to us. Like, does anybody else feel that way?
Yeah.
Why do you think that?
Well, like the phrase black boy joy, black girl joy. How can I because I care about words. Like, even during slavery, our ancestors couldn't even laugh.
Yeah.
You know how like some black people, when we hear something really funny, we run away? Yeah. It's because like our joy was almost a crime.
Yeah.
We couldn't have just a moment of relief. So when it comes to joy for black people, bro's frolicking in a field, like let him do that, because he deserves it. Like his ancestors sacrificed themselves just so he could frolic in a field.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like when I think of joy for myself, like you said, Go for a walk, paint something, like
Yeah.
do something that fulfills you. Be silly, be a silly goose.
Yeah.
Say stupid shit.
Exactly.
Could be cutie patooties.
Yeah.
Thank you. But yeah, like joy is the thing that Black people deserve the most.
Yes.
Like
I agree.
joy and peace.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. That's
I know, right? This is cameraman working.
Yeah.
Shout out to my guy.
I'm okay.
There you go. Oh, that's perfect.
I know that's right.
We care about our crew.
I love it.
I love it. I love
We
it.
care.
Strolling in.
Facts.
Okay.
Y'all don't play then. Here we go.
Quick. When it comes to generational curses, this is so funny because he low-key looked at me once and was like, does anybody have something to say about generational curses? Yesterday I was looking at a post and I went to send it to my mom, my sister, and my two sisters. And I just decided to send it to my mom because it was about why do you have to be the one to start breaking generational curses?
Yeah.
And I couldn't even I felt guilty personalizing that because by the way that my parents grew up and the way that I was raised, there's no way I was the one to start breaking generational curses.
Yeah.
And I still harbor a certain level of resentment for my parents because my parents weren't perfect because my parents are humans. But for those of us that genuinely do have great parents, it's always, for me, it was in retrospect that I realized how great my parents were and how much they did with what they had. You know what I'm saying? And I know this might not resonate for anybody because I know not everybody has the type of parents that I had. But for those of us that did have parents that were doing the best they can, it's just take the moment to really feel and appreciate that.
Yeah.
Because they really was just
Yeah.
they're doing the best they can. This is their first time here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's something that always hits in my core. You know, I could cry about it right now. So I just wanted to remind somebody of that message because it was important for me.
Yeah. And I love that you said that because I to wrap up this section of it, I literally just had a conversation with my younger brother who's 5 years younger than me. I'm 30, and he was harboring some emotions around why my mom would do certain things, and I had to let him know, you have to give her some grace because she was experiencing a lot of these things for the first time. And, unfortunately for our family, my mom and my father got divorced when I was 7, and my brother was much younger, so he doesn't really remember my father. And so he doesn't have the same memories that I have of, kind of seeing my mother be emotional or, kind of going through those things out loud as a parent. So I just really love that you acknowledge that because a lot of times I feel like we can harbor so many emotions towards our parents, not realizing that they were once us at one point. So just being open to either have those conversations or just being able to forgive for yourself to set yourself free in that moment. So I want to move over to advocacy. That's something that our culture has definitely done a superb job of doing generationally. We see it in marches. We see it in how we speak out. So I really want to talk about, when do you think it's necessary to fight for what's right?
I feel like always. It's just no question. If you feel like it's right in your heart, you know what I'm saying, and you don't go with it, you're gonna feel bad about it. You always gonna think about, dang, what if I, you know what I'm saying? And to me, not to belabor this, but when I was on stage in front of Eminem, in front of Lotto, in front of I could have said some crazy stuff on stage type stuff, but I chose something man, I know deep in my heart, bro, at the end of the day, I'm standing across from a Black woman on a white man's network.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And the type of stuff that I knew I could say, I can't. I just couldn't bring myself to say those type of things. And so to me, it's just it's worth it regardless. You know what I'm saying? Because it leads to just a different sense of self. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, you're gonna be at war with your damn self. Like, you know, that's the type of stuff that even led to this song. Like, yo, like she said, you know, I got that dog in me, you know, but y'all know I'm a nice guy. I'm smiling, you know, so I be chilling, you know. So, but you know, if it comes down to it, I ain't got no problem. But if it goes against my moral, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Help the bear, like. Yeah, yeah, I ain't gonna say too much, but yeah, that's my piece. Anybody else want to add to that?
I got so much respect for you, Boom Dude.
Yes.
For real.
Yes.
So I'm definitely happy you did that. Cause that could have been easy to do the other way. It would have been like that's what the world would have expected that. You know what I'm saying? It would have been that was the easy. That would have been so easy. But you are more valuable without that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure, you know, your hip hop senses was like, man, look all these gems and these leaders around me. It could, you know what I'm saying? You could have easily just did it based off that, based off the hype, based off hip hop. I mean, well, that's not really hip hop, but based off the platform that presented hip hop. Because honestly, the reality is that's not hip hop.
Yeah.
That's not hip hop, honestly. But for the sake of that show, it could have went, you know, the other way. And so I think, like you said, that's always integrity goes first. Principles goes first. And we have to be, just as much as we breathe, we have to put principles in that same matter. Like, we can't play with that.
Yeah.
So even though, you know, that sister that you was up, you know, with, you know, she was dope too, but I felt like, you know, you held your principles.
Yeah.
It was like a no-brainer, like, no, I'm not doing that. You know, so that is just, you carried so much respect after that.
And in the end, people remembered him for
Absolutely.
it.
Yeah.
In the end, I mean, and it started conversations. Like, I mean, me and my mom talked about it a lot, and I mean, of course, is a different generation, so she was just like, "Whoa, who is this guy?" I love the fact that he stood up for Black women.
Yeah.
And you know, and especially in our society, like, it just doesn't really happen like that all the time.
Yeah. That's the same thing I was gonna say. Is that, bro, you got to like teach principle on a major network to an audience that probably wouldn't hear that.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's beautiful, bro. Like, I got so much respect for you. So, like,
Thanks. So with that being said, how do we balance peace and aggression? That yin and that yang.
I want to hear from my guy.
Yeah, let's talk. Let's talk.
Somebody hold the camera.
Let me hold the mic. Let me hold the mic.
Of course. Hi everyone, I'm Chris.
Hi, Chris.
But I'm okay. I'm not big in astrology, but I'm a Libra, so I understand like how people say, you know, there's like a Libra scale. September 28th. Yeah. But balancing peace and aggression is, I think, like at the core of it. I think, you know, aggression has like a stigma of, you know, a negative connotation. I feel like in my eyes, a lot of times, you know, sometimes aggression is a tool that could be used to really like channel your energy into a lot of productive things. You know, you being a creative, you know, I'm sure you've of course channeled emotions into your art for sure. And, you know, I feel like balancing the two is really all about you listening to your body, listening to your mind about you feeling overwhelmed by, you know, what you're feeling. Peace is wonderful. And again, Black people, like we've had our moments where we've never gotten to enjoy that luxury, so to speak. And so I feel like circling back to balancing, you know, sometimes you can find peace channeling aggression in a healthy way. And, you know, appreciating part of being at peace is being grateful for, you know, how far you come. Like, it's synonymous with, you know, being at peace is like synonymous with like appreciation. Because if you got nothing to appreciate, you know, then you can't really fully, you know, digest what you really have, you know.
Yeah.
So I think those two, they kind of coincide in a weird way, but they balance each other out though, you know.
Yeah,
so yeah,
absolutely. And I love that you touched on aggression in a healthy way, because a lot of times I feel like we look at aggression as a bad thing, or I should say society looks at aggression as a bad thing, but aggression reveals. So what is it about aggression that has revealed something inside of you that you didn't expect? Oh.
I gotta know what that meant.
Right. Like,
that was a loaded finger. Pause. How y'all doing? My name is Jeffrey Pierre-Louis. Man, y'all touched a lot of topics. I'm sitting here in a very intelligent room, so I'm just taking in a lot of this information. But the first thing I'm gonna speak on is you know, you said peace and aggression, and I think you got to look at the definition of war, the purpose of war, you know, and the purpose of war is to find peace and to reach peace.
Yeah.
You know, that's when you take it to war, you know what I mean, in order to find peace, you know what I mean, and that is when you execute, you know, that level of aggression. So it's the purpose and your intent, you know, while using that level of aggression, you know what I mean, what is your purpose, you know, for it? What is the result of it? Why am I, you know, tapping into this source of energy? You know, what am I looking to accomplish? So overall, when I think about, you know, peace and aggression and war as a collective, you know, I think it's really about, you know, goes back to intention and, you know, what is the reason for what you're looking to do. And the follow-up question, I kind of need a little refresher.
Just, you know, like, what has aggression revealed about yourself that you didn't expect to know? Because it reveals. It's deep. And it's not a pretty process.
I really just being built for it.
Okay.
You know
that's good. Yeah.
What you built for. You know, you don't understand the type of pressure you're able to deal with until you come out the other end of that fire.
Facts.
You know what I mean? So, you know, war is something I really enjoy. You know what I mean? The art of war, not just the act of it, but, you know, the mindset of it, you know, studying it, understanding it, approach, strategy, being tactical. You know, there's a lot of components to that. You know, and aggression is just, you know, one form of emotion that it takes in order to get there. You know, it takes also compassion. It takes understanding. It takes dialogue, conversation, you know, the ability to communicate, just being aware and being just responsible with the power that you do have. You know what I mean? If you have an understanding of, you know, how to, you know, leverage your aggression, it's about being responsible with what you do and how you do it. Yeah. So overall, I just think it's all about purpose, you know what I mean, and duty in this world. And just off of what you were saying about generations and things like that was something that was in the back of my head. You know, my mother, she just retired. You know what I'm saying? We can make some noise for that. So I watch like a lot of me is my work ethic, and I can always model that after my mother. You know what I mean? She's the hardest working person I've seen. I don't see her sit down. You know what I mean? She'll come from a 12-hour shift and then go cook. After cook, she's in the backyard building a house. Like, Mom, what are you doing again? Like, what is going on? You know what I'm saying? So a lot of time you talk about generational breaking, what is it? Generational curses and stuff. I feel as if there's also leverage of a level of, you know, taking the baton. Yeah. You know what I mean? More than breaking anything is moving it forward. Absolutely. You know what I mean? So my parents, I'm first generation here. You know what I mean? So it took me some reflection. You know, I might have been in my feelings, whoop-de-whoop, and then I sat back and think my parents came here when they was 30. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They started a family. And they got a house in New York, and you know what I mean, they got us into schools, got us education and things of that nature. So when you're grateful for, you know, for things like that, it's like, all right, even if you're going, they telling me go to school, get a job. Jeffrey dropped out, start his own business, hustles every day to, you know, make it make sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can't sit down. I can't apply for a job if I wanted to. You know what I mean? It's just where I'm at. You know what I mean? That's what I feel like God is sent me here to do, and to give people an example of how to be successful through that. Yeah. So even though listening to those, you know, suggestions, you know, through my family, it's also up to me, you know, as the only boy as well. I feel like I have that duty to take my last name to another place, you know? So it's just about just understanding, man, sitting down with yourself, being at peace, you know, when you're making these decisions, you know, prior to ever being aggressive or being outside your body, you want to be able to be at peace so you're aware of who you are and what you do and what you represent.
Man, you said it all. I really appreciate your perspective.
Facts,
because
yo.
you really covered quite a bit. And even just tonight, the conversation was so beautiful. I feel like it revealed so much about how we've been feeling personally and also communally. And we need each other. We need people. These conversations are healthy to have because they reveal so much that maybe we didn't know, or maybe it kind of makes us feel comfortable about the things that we have been feeling but maybe have been made outcast feeling like. So I love also what you said about being first generation. I'm first generation, and there's a lot of pressure on the first gen peeps, for real. So it's definitely, it ties back to the nature of the song. It's a war within ourselves, within our community, within our family, within our generations. So what's the next step that we take moving forward to be able to like stop, you know, these patterns and just making things better? So thank you guys so much for contributing to the conversation tonight. And thank y'all so much for even listening to the album.
Okay, hold on. Corey gonna say so. My boy Corey. Hey, shout out to Corey, man.
Yeah, Corey.
And Corey for holding the camera for Corey.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I can't see. Hold on, y'all. I'm blind. Give me a question. The cameraman never be in the photo shots, man.
I know, right?
You go through the album, it be gone. Like, where you been all these years?
Where you been?
All right,
breaking generational curses.
Oh, don't touch just touch this part down here.
Okay.
Don't even touch that.
Help me.
Just touch this and that. This and that.
Okay.
This and that.
You got it?
And I'm trying to see how I can make it.
We got a camera first.
I know that's right.
Oh, is that a little dongle?
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
And put your finger on the roll right there. Roll.
And that's the focus.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the focus. Excuse me.
Look at me, y'all. I'm a new career.
Lord.
I got a new career.
Hold it right in here.
Okay.
Right there.
Okay.
Up and down.
Corey and Best Buy.
I'm telling you, facts.
Spending all the money.
Like, I want that.
Okay. Whenever she red, when she fully red, that means she's digital.
Okay, cool.
So you don't have to worry about it as long as it's red.
Lady in red.
Okay,
All right.
okay.
He wants to be prompted with a quick question.
Absolutely. So, my good sir, how are you breaking generational curses?
Woo. How am I breaking generation curse? How do y'all want me to start from this? Because I'm about to start crying and here, sweating and everything. Okay, picture this. Hustling on Bankhead with your father. See, I grew up different, man. Both of my parents was on drugs. You know, I was a 12-year-old, 11-year-old, used to sell parents drugs and stuff. So we used to be hustling on Bankhead, and I got an uncle had $800 million in the 80s. And picture him driving past us every day, and we hustling. So that's why I got into filming, so I could capture history and do that. How I'm breaking the curse is my 5 kids never seen none of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like,
shout out to that.
Like my 28-year-old be on me. He be like, Dad, I looked at your Instagram page. I wouldn't hire you to do no videos.
Oh, no,
you know what I'm
say
saying? I need to
that,
start
'cause
erasing
I gotta
everything.
do that
I'm like, Archive.
as
What is
well.
Archive? Okay, here we go. So, yeah, I'm breaking generation curse, man, because, you know, my mom got 25 years clean. My daddy passed away with like 30-some years clean. I do sister homes. Bought for like 5 people LLCs. When I walk in the hood, they like, oh, here you go again. You know what I'm saying? Like, they got to get it straight when I come to the hood. You going to have to fight me. You have to give me a 1. You know what I'm saying? That's how I see it. Like, in the rehab, they'll be like, hey, sit over here in this room. Clean for 30 days. Nah, I could come and get you out of the spot. Like, hey, you coming with me, folks. Like, hey, you going to have to fight me to get your life straight. If you don't, it is what it is. Because I'm getting tired of it. We got to hold each other accountable these days. If you don't, we just gonna have to run over you. We'll come back and get you later. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying?
It's real though.
No, it is.
It's real though. You know what I'm saying? My uncle Herman J. Russell. Every time somebody see me, they think I'm rich or something. Like my daddy took the wrong turn. You know what I'm saying? So we straighten it, and we here to understand it, get our credit straight, because, you know, it didn't come out to 8 or 9, so that means our parents couldn't teach it. And y'all did ask a question earlier. I wanted to say some of our parents didn't know how to teach us.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
their parents didn't teach them correctly. So we'll be mad at our parents for not knowing that we supposed to look at our grandparents.
Yeah.
And say, grandparents, y'all did not teach them correctly. So now I have to teach my child and say, you born into something that I didn't know you was born into. Now I got more knowledge, so you had to teach your children a lot more better than what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
So do everything better than me. Come correct me on my words. Come do everything better than me. Come check me. I'm going to say stuff wrong around you. You come correct me, and don't be scared. Hold me accountable, and we're going to do it. We're gonna be at the top. Even if we got to run over you, we'll come back and get you. We love you.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing.
Appreciate
that.
you sharing that.
Yeah, that was
Alright.
really good. Yeah.
Thank you for
Okay,
not
okay.
being like, oh, I'm gonna just be on the camera.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
facts.
I gotta express itself, man, because I'm out here, man. I'm fighting for us, man, for real, man.
Yeah.
Like for real.
It's apparent.
I'm the one you can call. My mom called me 3 o'clock in the morning. Hey, go to Silver Street. Go to 2nd Avenue. This lady got an hour clean. She got children. Take her to an NA meeting. I'm knocking on doors and stuff like, hey, man, I need to take somebody to NA meeting. They were like, who is you? The drug dealer and stuff. Like, man, listen here, folks. She trying to get clean. She got kids. You know what I'm saying? So I need to take her to the NA meeting. I'm going to the sister home, Windway. I'm starting naming the spots. Y'all know if yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I'm sweating over here because, you know, it means passion to me, y'all.
Yeah.
We got to hold each other accountable and start doing right.
We do.
Explain
That's
how you
real.
do stuff and how you would do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Wow.
that's
Thank
real. That was everything.
Bro, thank you so
That
much for
was.
sharing that, bro. Like, wow, that was powerful, bro. That was powerful. Hey, man, that's what it's about, bro. Thank you.
Yo, strong. That's
strong.
why I be telling for her. Hold it.
Yeah, we'll go ahead.
And to think today was supposed to be a regular studio session day.
You know what I'm saying? Normally I be in here like maybe 1 or 2 people or dolo just working and just like, you know, hunched over until like 3 a.m. You know, she'll call me. She'll be like, "You all right?" I'll be like, "Yeah, I'm straight." I'll be like, then I'll be playing something. I'll be like, "Okay, let me listen to the mix from the couch," and I'll listen to the couch. And next thing you know, it's over with. I get up. It's about 8 a.m. and I'm like, you know, and I'm like, hold on. Let me fix it real quick before I go home. Then it'd be like 9 o'clock. I'm like, I gotta go home. And at 9 in the morning, I get home. She already in the kitchen, like doing something or. Yeah, but yeah. Thank y'all for sharing that. We're just gonna jump into the next John.
Yeah.